where we saw Arvind Kejriwal, Rahul Gandhi, Subramanian Swamy on the same side against criminal defamation. Now the top court has given them 8 weeks to challenge the pending criminal defamation cases against them in the High Court, or they will face trial. So it's going to be seen as a huge blow for them and the criminal defamation cases pending against them. 11:14 a.m. the two-judge bench came to the court, pronounced the judgment very clearly stating constitutional validity of criminal defamation has been upheld. The reason they gave for this was simple. They say fundamental rights have to be read together. There is a fundamental right to speech and expression that everyone is guaranteed under the Constitution, but there is also a guarantee to the right to fundamental freedom of life. They've also stated this is not only about an individual, but society as a whole also needs to look into this. In fact, I'll read out what the Supreme Court has observed in the case. They've said freedom of right to speech and expression does not confer any right to a person to trample the reputation of others. The Supreme Court therefore asking also the lower court to be cautious while proceeding under defamation law to ensure the law is not misused. In fact, even as it continues to be there, the Supreme Court has said defaming a person amounts to an offence against society, and therefore the government is entitled to lodge a case against a person under criminal defamation law. This is exactly, Deepthi, what had been argued by the top legal officer, the Attorney General of India, appearing for the government. He made a fourfold argument like we've been stating to our viewers. He said it has to act as a deterrent. Criminal defamation law needs to be there because otherwise there would be anarchy. He also spoke about in the era of social media the need for this criminal defamation law because anyone can sully anyone's reputation in the fraction of a second. He also said unlike other countries and unlike under British laws, one has to remember criminal defamation needs to continue to be on the statute books for a simple reason that the civil defamation laws take a long time to really be heard.
And you know, Rhythm, if we come back to talk about Rahul Gandhi, about Arvind Kejriwal, about Subramanian Swamy, this essentially means that they have interim protection for about the next 8 weeks till when the Supreme Court has actually given them the time to approach the High Court.
Absolutely, and this will be seen as a blow because the criminal defamation cases against them continue pending. There are cases in which Rahul Gandhi has stated and said things against the RSS. There's a case in which Subramanian Swamy has stated things, and also, of course, the very relevant cases of Arvind Kejriwal having made defamatory comments, so as to say, allegedly against the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. All these cases will now continue to be heard. They have been given 8 weeks, which is a long time, to challenge them in the High Court or to face trial and to face prosecution. But the big picture that's coming in, unlike in other countries of the world, India has continued to say defamation will not be criminalized. The reason they've given for this is we have to understand there is right to life that has to be read along with the right to freedom of speech and expression. Relevant points where the Supreme Court also saying it does not confer any right on a person to trample the reputation of others, which clearly means defamation is not going to be only seen in the civil law tort concept, but as a criminal law. Remember, under Section 500 of the Indian Penal Code, maximum 2 years imprisonment can be given to someone under criminal defamation law. It's very rarely used, but the court continues to say it's important. Also remember, Indian Penal Code came into being in 1850. In 1850s, that is 155 years ago, before the Constitution in 1950. So the court has said